Welcome to Talking About Summer Camp. I'm Keira, and I'm going to be the host. This is Sophia Brier, Ari Brier, and Belle Shiffman. So, Ari, what is Arlington Independent Media, or AIM, and where is it?
Arlington Independent Media is a studio where kids and adults get to learn how to make movies and films of their own, and it is located in Clarendon, which is in Arlington County.
So, Sophia, can you give me some examples of media? Like, what is it? And some examples.
Examples of media are movies and videos, books, pretty much everything that would entertain you.
So, Belle, what was the AIM summer camp about?
Well, AIM Summer Camp is all about teaching kids ages 9 to 13 about how to make movies and how they're done.
So also you need to kind of make sure that, you have to work on the script, story idea, lighting, shooting, camera, so you kind of learn those skills as well, right? So all of you guys watch like movies and TV shows, right?
Yes.
So did the AIM summer camp change what you think, what goes through your mind when you watch TV or a movie?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I'm not really sure.
What about you, Belle?
Well, it kind of changes it. Like, if you know that they're using a green screen, then if you think it's a good movie, you might not think it's very good anymore because of the quality.
Anything to add, Ari?
Well, when I watch a movie now, when something really cool happens and I know it's special effects, it makes me wonder how they did it, even though I might know some of it. But most of the time I still don't know it, so it makes me wonder what they did.
Yeah, I like to see the special effects. So, Belle, what does it mean to be a passive media consumer?
Well, it means that you're not you don't really do anything. You more just sit on the couch and watch TV.
Belle, when you create media at or through AIM, are you being passive or are you being active?
You're being active because AIM's all about going out and doing it instead of just watching people do it.
I agree. But we did a little bit of watching as well, right?
During lunch.
Yeah, during lunch. So, Sophia, what was your personal summer camp highlight? What did you like the most about AIM summer camp?
The most, my favorite part was making the inanimate object video. That was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you, Ari?
My favorite part of it was making the film and just being just holding the boom because, even though it's really heavy.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
I like doing the special effects, and one of our special effects was we got to dump water on a camper, which was really fun.
Yep. So, what part of the process of making an awesome, great short movie did you enjoy the most at Arlington Independent Media, Sophie?
I liked operating a camera
Nice.
and acting.
Yeah. And what about you, Belle?
I liked learning how to use the equipment, and editing was fun to see what you had shot.
Ari, what was your favorite part?
Well, my favorite part really that was not behind the scenes was acting.
Acting. Yeah, acting. So, what did you personally enjoy more, Belle? Learning technical skills or learning the more creative skills that you need to tell a good, compelling story?
I like the creative skills because you can more be yourself and stuff. And it's a good way to express yourself through film.
Mm-hmm. Would you disagree, Ari? Would you pick technical skills over creative, or
No, I agree with Belle because pretty much what she said.
How about you, Sophie? Agree?
Yes.
No? Yeah. So, are there any other types of skills or values, Ari, that you got out of the AIM summer camp? Like, you know,
Well,
other than technical and creative?
yeah, because it lets us all pretty much learn how to work together and make films, and we can all express ourselves in one film.
I agree. So, Sophia, if you're a fictional writer and you write fiction, fictional books, what do you think would be different about writing a story for someone to read with their eyes, well, with their mind, or writing a script for a short movie like we did in these two?
What would be different? Well, writing a book definitely does not need as much planning as like writing a movie script, but it does take a little bit longer.
Do you have anything to add, Belle?
Yeah. So, well, I think a story is a lot easier, and also with the story, well, when you write a script, you have to think about like, is it really possible? Could we really do that? But for a book, you can just do anything. Like, there's no limits.
What about you, Ari? Do you agree?
Yeah, but I think that like it's different because through movies you look at what the people thought of when they said this and did this script and all that, but when you're reading a book, it's what you think and you picture it in your mind instead of watching it.
It can be like many different people. Belle could see a dragon breathing out fire, but I could see a jellyfish breathing out marshmallows or something. So it kind of can be different, the person, how they want to look at it. So in general, did you start looking at media differently after camp? Not just movies, but like, anything. Ari?
Yes, because like when I read books, other than movies, like when I read books and stuff, I picture, well, of course, what I think, but I always wonder what the author was thinking when they wrote it. What the author was thinking.
Belle, have anything to add?
About movies still, like sometimes if you see a scary scene and stuff, and you realize that it's just the lighting or the camera work, it kind of ruins it sometimes.
Yeah. So I always think that if you're doing a red lighting, that's horror. If you're doing a blue lighting, that's sad. If you're doing kind of an orange lighting, that's, fun, happy. So, yep. Okay, Sophia, if you were running the summer camp for kids, this one, or maybe a 2-part more advanced camp, what would you do or do differently? Like you're given access to all that high-tech equipment.
I'm not really sure. Not really.
Ari, do you have any ideas?
I might do different ages.
So do you have any specific ideas?
Maybe instead of 9, maybe a few years younger, so that more kids can do it, 7 to maybe 16. I don't know.
But what do you think? I personally think that would be too much of an age span, because of since we had I think 8. And when we made The Invisible Girl, we had from ages 8 to 11 or 12. And I think that was okay. But the younger you go, younger kids have to still mature a little bit. So I personally think that would be a little hard, a little complicated if you had that such of a span, but you don't. That's your opinion. Belle?
Well, I probably wouldn't change much. So with his, it would be hard for like the 16-year-olds and the 7-year-olds to get along and stuff, and they couldn't really relate to much.
Yeah, but that's Ari's opinion. So, so there's a summer camp that's going on at Key Elementary School where we go, except for Belle, since she's in Gunston now. There's a after school program there where they use just iPads, no cameras, no boom mics, or well they do use boom mics, but they just use the iPad cameras. Do you think that would be different? Like, how would that feel to just use the iPads? Have any of you guys been doing the after school?
No,
He's
not
going
the
to.
after school, but I might.
Oh, okay. What do you think, Belle?
Well, using an iPad would be easier and harder because it's easier to operate and like it's easier to learn how to use and stuff. But it would also be harder to get some good shots and hold it still.
Definitely. Sophie?
I agree with Belle,
Okay.
except that it would also be easier because iPads are a lot less difficult to use.
Yeah, and they're lighter. Yep. So, are any of you guys interested in doing the after school program? Ari?
Yeah.
Are you? Oh, well. What about you, Sophia?
Not
really.
Yes.
Sort of. So, okay, so Carmen was actually made, the movie Carmen, short film Carmen, was made at Key Elementary School with the iPads. And then, so who was in Jump Shot Murder?
Me.
I think that was session 1, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then The Invisible Girl was session 2, and Belle and I were in that. Can you guys just explain, like, how did that? Did you guys vote on having kind of like a horror movie, or no?
Also comedy.
Or comedy, you know.
Well, it's partly comedy.
So, can you guys come on, kind of summarize what you did in Jump Shot Murder? Ari?
Well, we voted on like what theme we wanted, and a lot of people picked comedy, and a lot of people picked horror. So we did a mix of both, and that turned out.
And then we did a mix of Ben's movie and my movie, because mine was about a kid who couldn't play basketball and he was like scared of stuff. And then Ben's was about a ghost and stuff, and so that was like mixed up together.
So can you guys summarize your short film, so for people who haven't seen it yet?
So pretty much, there's this girl named Emily, and she's really bad at basketball, and so
Really unpopular.
and so she doesn't have a lot of friends, and so like no one likes her and anything. But then one day, so she only had one friend, and they were meeting in the basketball court. But then when Emily came, her friend was murdered
And
by
there's
a
no marks
ghost,
or anything.
and so they had to find it. And then Emily became popular and famous, and she sold these flashlights that
Detective.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of
And there's this detective that's really like dumb, and so he tried to figure it out, but Emily was really the one who did it.
So, Belle, can you give a summarize of The Invisible Girl?
Well, The Invisible Girl is about this girl that she also doesn't have very many friends. And at her school, the after-school programs are going to be closing. And so one day these kids make fun of her, and she starts crying. And she goes to the bathroom, and she's invisible, kind of. And so, the FBI, I think, come, and they want her to catch a cop who's been stealing money from her school, and so she does. In the end, she gets friends because instead of telling everybody that she can turn invisible, she tells She gets them to be her friends by telling them stories.
So in the end, she gets friends. So based on those two short films, do you think that in the future that if since you guys did a mix, do you think that was easier than just doing one idea, or harder, more difficult than just doing kind of one idea as we did in The Invisible Girl?
I think kind of, because like in some scenes you're like used to being like serious and stuff, but then in the scenes where you're supposed to be serious, you start laughing because like the other characters are being funny at the same time.
Yeah. Ari, do you have anything to add?
Well, I think that it's a little harder because you need to figure out, because you already have two movies planned out that are the winners, and mixing them would just be a little harder because you need to totally replan everything to make sure that it looks good while still being a good mix and having like half and half of both movies.
Belle, do you think it would be easier to just do one idea, or do you think it's easier to do two?
I think it would be harder to do two ideas because you have to like work it out more instead of just deciding like on one.
So, were you guys ever director?
I was director once.
Were you director, Belle?
Yeah.
But, okay, so Belle and Ari, was it hard for you not, like, when you wanted to do stuff, like make sure the camera's okay, instead of just doing it, was it harder for you to say, okay, you need to do it that way instead of just doing it? Was it hard for you to do that?
For me, not really, because we had already learned it, and I was watching the other director, so I pretty much knew what to do.
I think it was actually easier because that way you could do more things at once, and if you just told somebody to do it, they would do it.
Definitely, yeah. So, do you guys have anything to add about the summer camp?
Not really.
Okay. So, I think that concludes the interview. So, yep. Thank you.
Uh-oh.